All right, unfortunately, guys, life changed a bunch, and there was a couple months back there that I didn't even honestly know that I would be able to continue with the shop. Everything was really, really crazy expensive. Still is crazy expensive. I've talked to tons of other people in the industry, and they're struggling just like me. And given everything that I had going, I didn't think that I could continue. So one of the things that I kind of had to do is I had to take this motor and put it for sale. Is one of the quick things that I could see that I could do. It turns out I had a guy down the road that actually needed a 427 for a 69 Camaro build, and so we took the blower off. It's not the end of Uncle Sam. I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys, but I needed to kind of, you know, I didn't know what I was going to have to do. I had to liquidate some things. This is one of them. So yeah, life is tough, and rent is expensive, and you know, but by the grace of God, things have turned around. So that's something to be very thankful for. Honestly, ever since the election, business has been amazing. It's been pretty awesome and a huge turnaround. But at this time, this has been out for about I want to say probably 4 months or 5 months or so. We had to send to the machine shop, everything checked, everything was good. We started piecing together everything to make it a naturally aspirated LS7. So that's what it is right now. It has now got an LS7 intake manifold with you know, higher compression and all that, and it's going to be an awesome package for the guy that's trying to do it. So we're trying to make, you know, close to, you know, 550 to 600 wheel, which would be a ton for the gentleman that's getting the car. But I do have plans for Uncle Sam. I mean, hopefully we can, you know, do something that's like a smaller motor, but keep the same blower on it, keep the methanol on it. I've been trying to work with Holly to try and get a kit for it, but let's go check out some of the other engines that we've been working on. We've been able to piece together some other things, and we have some other engine packages that we're trying to do that basically are going to go into like turbo airboats and street rod applications that are going to be really awesome for whomever does that. But we had a whole ton of things that we had lying around that we put together as some pretty awesome packages. So let's go check those out. All right, so we have a couple other engines that we had been working on. I've been having Laz piece these together, and this one is actually going to be for a turbo airboat. This is a 6-liter and file fit rings. It's basically stock bottom and ring gapped engine with some pretty nice cylinder heads on it, some ported heads, and camshaft. And this thing, you know, we're hoping it should do, you know, something like, even though it's going to be an airboat, we should be shooting for what would normally be 900 to 1,000 wheel. Going to throw probably 20 pounds of boost at it, and it should absolutely rip. When we're putting all this stuff together, I mean, if you look really in the fine details of all this other stuff, our go-to is going to ICT billet. Anything that you need for piecing something together, we've had to go to ICT for a lot of stuff. I absolutely love the way that valley cover looks, but it's not just that. They have all sorts of other components. Like even on this, we have this intake manifold. It's really hard to get. We have a spacer that's going to be able to make this throttle body work with this intake manifold. But you know, on this right here, we have basically their coolant crossover, all sorts of other components, and we'll look on our engine test stand that we have. We got their bracketry for LSA, so we do a lot of supercharger swaps, and again, we use their stuff for going to being able to put a blower on an LT or an LS. If you want to put any LSA blower on ICT, check out what they have to be able to help you with your drive components. Putting an LS in anything, check out what they have. Now, on that note, we're actually got here, this is a 6.2 liter bottom end, and it's got LS3 bottom end, LS2 top end. So a little bit of an oddball, but an awesome street rod engine. So with that bottom end, it's going to have a whole lot of torque, but with the cathedral port, it's going to have really tons of torque. This is really designed for somebody that's going to be like a street rod car that's going to make about 450 wheel or so. That's 550 at the motor. It's got a ported intake, ported heads. They're milled. They're higher, you know, about 11:1 compression ratio. And this is a 0-mile motor. We just got this back from the machine shop, but yeah, new everything. Awesome engine. Something like this probably runs about between 12 to 15,000 depending on engine management and so on and so forth. But we've been piecing this together, and then we have this guy right here. This is actually an iron 5.3 that was punched to a 5.7. So now that is a 0-mile file fit ring, new rod piston, 5.7 iron. This is again for an airboat, and with this is a 8078. This thing should be able to make, you know, pretty darn near 1,000 with the motor. So anybody with an airboat or anything that wants to do something like that, this thing will absolutely rip. And again, this is going to be similarly priced to this. Again, it's got ported heads, camshaft, valve springs, everything set. All of these have pretty good size injectors. These are the Holley 120 injectors. This should go with a Terminator X and just absolutely rip up with whatever you want to do. But I kind of want to show you what we've been up to. Haven't really given you guys an update as to what we've been doing in the shop, but Liz has been busy. You know, that's a lot of engines. That's 4 engines right there that he's been piecing together for a while. So let's go check out Uncle Sam. Maybe you can hear it one more time here. All right, so we took the blower off, and that is going to be for another project. We are still going to do something with it, but this is now got a ported LS7 manifold on there, LS3 throttle body. As you can see, it's a Texas speed, 5.3 that's been punched out to the 427. This is what we made 1,000 wheel horsepower with, but it's still gonna make a lot of power, and we'll hopefully see it whenever it's finished someday down the road here. But going in, what is 69 Camaro? Sorry, 67 Camaro. Should be pretty fun. Dude. But yeah, let's fire it up. Engine test stand for our tuning classes and all that, and right now we have an O2 sensor that's acting a little slow to heat up there. We had a bunch of problems. It's got flex fuel in it, but it's an indeterminate amount, and we don't have our flex fuel thing hooked up, so we don't know. I didn't know exactly what the mixture was. It took me forever to get the O2 sensors working. It was a whole bunch of a nightmare the other day, but yeah, got through everything, and we got it. You know, this is the best that it's run in a short time that I've been able to play around with it. But what would really solve that very, very quickly is a Holley right here. So this is going on Terminator X. It's going to be so much easier to dial in after that, but we can usually make the factory processor stuff work pretty good. I just need a little bit more time with it, but the Holley, definitely the way to go for something like this.
Okay, you got that?
Barely.
Just barely.
I don't really got it. It's kind of fallen actually, but it's hard to understand how freaking huge this thing is. It's yeah, it's probably like 65 pounds.
Even the freaking throttle bar.
Always. You don't have to put this down. Yeah.
I think it just cracked the floor underneath.
Yeah, that's the blower that came off of it. So look forward to having that on something in the future. But yeah, probably a smaller motor that'll really rev out. You know, 1,000 horsepower was pretty awesome, but 800 would probably be more than enough for Uncle Sam. You know, maybe even 850 or 900, but really rev it out though. This blower was so much fun, and I look back at some of the times that I had with it, and it was definitely some of the best times of my life. Looking forward to something just, the power adder is still going to be able to do something pretty awesome, but probably on a smaller motor for a little bit less money. So.
Will that fit a Miata?
Not easily.
Are you sure?
Yeah. All right, so I actually had one more little request. The gentleman here wanted to see what it would sound like with a little bit louder, but it's a great idea, so let's see it.
I had one ear on my shoulder and the other one was plugging with my finger.
Trying to get it to simmer down here, but yeah, that thing is rowdy. It was so much fun. So a little sad to see it go, but we got bigger and brighter things coming up in the future. So
here we
got a Ferrari GT3 car. It's actually the 296. It's the current GT3 car, and we're driving on Laguna Seca. You guys gotta come by our shop and check this out well before. And so these are just practice times. Come race day, it'll be $25 to race. Again, $650 cash prize. So guys, this Academy Sim Racing let us borrow one of their rigs. This thing is honestly some of the most fun you can have at all. It is so, you learn so much just driving it and learning the feel and the balance of the car. So worth it. You guys gotta come and check this thing out. Check out Academy Sim Racing. If they happen to be by where you're at and they got a rig, you gotta go check it out. If you got some time, we'll try and coach you just a little bit to make you a little bit faster. But the more practice that you put in, the more chance you have to be able to win. So guys, we get some amazing deals on some flow matched and clean injectors. We got 850s, we've got 1000 cc's, we got 1200 cc's, we got 210s. Got all sorts of different stuff, so please check that out. We're offering some pretty crazy deals, especially around this holiday time. It definitely is going to help fund some of our future projects, and it allows us to be able to give a little bit more wiggle room to modify some stuff that we got coming up. But if it's right for you, check it out, ask some questions. I'll be able to help you out. I got my phone number right here, and you can call me or text me if you got any questions about them.